Ladies and gentlemen, Maryland versus Ohio State. This is a game that I think a lot of people are going to overlook this weekend. Maryland's coming off of a pretty solid stretch of games where they've beat three Power Five opponents. Not only beat them in the just the win loss column, but I think they handled them all pretty well. Ohio State off of a bye week and a big road win against Notre Dame. Had this game been played last weekend, I would be much, much higher on Maryland. Big road win for Ohio State, returning home, take that opponent against the spread. I think that system's like 3-1 for me this year. But when you throw that bye weekend, it kind of messes things up a little bit. And they do have one common opponent between the two that you can look at. Both teams have played Indiana to this point in the season. You can see it right here: Ohio State 23-3 on the road, Maryland 44-17 at home, and that's how these games should go for these teams. You want Ohio State to go win the road game. You want Maryland to win the game at home convincingly. But when you get down to the nitty gritty and you really just start looking at things, you look at how Maryland is winning these games. Maryland's played three Power Five opponents. UVA, they won by 28. Michigan State, they won by 22. Indiana, they won by 20, what is that, 27? They're winning the games they're supposed to, how they're supposed to do it. Ohio State haven't really played anybody that great outside of Notre Dame, which you could say they probably got outplayed that game but won it. Now you've got a bye week. All that momentum you had after the Notre Dame game kind of comes to a stop. Then you got to go re-get that juice. You look at offensively, 454 to 447. You would think there's going to be a lot of yards and points put up in this game. Ohio State's 18-point favorites. I don't think they cover that. I think Maryland plus 18 is probably going to be the play. And most of that is due to just Maryland's offensive efficiency it's been unreal to this point in the season. You look at Tagovailoa, to his brother Talia, I think is how you pronounce his name. He is 111 for 169, 66% completion percentage, almost 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns through 4 games or 5 games, 3 interceptions. Not only that, look at his rushing. I mean, he's put up 3 touchdowns through 5 games so far this year. He's doing just enough to make you worry about his legs. And the biggest thing to me is just, if you go look at how Maryland has performed statistically as a team, they are picked up 115 first downs. They are 33 for 67, almost 50% on third down conversions. Interceptions, again, only 3. He's also only been sacked 4 times, guys. That's key. That's 1 sack per game, basically. 800 yards offense on the ground, 5 yards per carry, 11 rushing touchdowns again. Defensively, though, I guess the defensive stats aren't on here. But, again, I think this is a game where everyone's kind of very high on Maryland, high on Ohio State. As you can see here, Ohio State's 19-point favorites. I don't think that necessarily needs to be the case. I'm going to go show you exactly where I get all my information. So let's go here. Third down conversion percentage. Maryland, 18th in the nation. Ohio State, not exactly that high, 46th offensively. So let's flip it. Well, what about defensively? How do they stack up? Third down percentage, defense. Same game. Let's just see how these defenses are doing. Well, Maryland is 42nd, and Ohio State is 49th. Pretty evenly defense. All right. And that's just on third down. Third down is money down for a reason, guys. So let's go look at red zone percentage. Another thing that is going to win you the game. Getting down to the red zone and converting that into touchdowns, not just field goals or points. So Maryland's not in the top 50. Ohio State, not in the top 50 either. Okay. Let's keep it moving. Control F. Ohio State, 93rd. You can see it right here. Ohio State, 93rd. Maryland, 72nd. Red zone offense. That is 17 attempts. Where is that? 14 touchdowns. That's very hard to beat. And Ohio State back down here, they have 13 attempts, 10 touchdowns. That's how you win games. Ultimately, that's the two things: is third down and red zone that's going to win these games. And Ohio State, I just have not been that impressed with, to be completely honest with you. I'm gonna get back to this game and break it down just a little bit more. Ohio State side, Kyle McCord, only 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, statistically, the teams are just even across the board. I don't understand why Ohio State's 19-point favorites. Maryland plays Ohio State away, Penn State at home, Michigan at home. I don't think they go 0-3 in that stretch. I think if you take Maryland and you put them in any other conference besides the Big Ten West, put them in the ACC, put them in the SEC East, put them maybe in the SEC West, put them in the Big 12, put them, I don't know about the Pac-12 because Pac-12 is so up in the air right now. They're just going to kill each other before the season's over. But again, put Maryland in the Big Ten East. They go win it. Maryland is a good football team. Maryland plus 18 is a catastrophe. I don't know how the line is that big. I think Maryland should cover this one. I wouldn't be surprised to see this game's going to go one or two ways. Either Maryland is going to expose Ohio State and lose, or Ohio State's just going to run away with it because they're coming off the bye week. But the biggest thing to me here is Ohio State just has not looked great consistently. Maryland has at least played consistent football through the first 5 weeks of the season. I'm very high on Maryland. 18-point dogs. I mean, 90% of the public or ESPN is on Ohio State. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think that's how this game should be. I think Maryland and Mike Locksley can put up some points. I think they can cover 18. Big fan of the Terps. Let me know in the comment section how you guys see this game playing out. Hit that subscribe button. We're getting close to 500, and I will see you guys in the next video where we'll talk about Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas A&M, and a couple other games coming up this weekend. Appreciate it.